Hi there, you're back with English Coach today, and this video is about finding value and looking for value instead of seeing bad things or instead of seeing bad scenarios, look for value in everything. Before I start this video, I'd like to make a uh, short uh, observational exception that you should make during this video, which is when there are people, situations, or events that are not good for us, they don't hold enough value, let's say, they hold more downside or more cost, not just in terms of money, but in terms of emotional energy and other things, that you should have the good sense to drop those things at certain points in time when it's convenient or strategically smart to do so. Okay, so today's video is for looking for value in everything. Let's start off with looking for value in your life. So in your life, you'll have things that you're extremely passionate about and things that you're less passionate about. This colors everything. But you also have things that are just going so well for you and other things that are just not going very well for you. Sometimes a really strategic way of getting more satisfaction and also a better sense of what you're good at and this kind of thing is to look at the things that are going well. Just spend one day increasing the bias, so to speak. Sometimes we have a bias toward looking at the things that are not going so well and trying to fix them for months and sometimes years to no avail, instead of increasing those things that are going so well in our life. And it could be anything. It could be your relationship, could be your ability to do well at work, to get along with your co-workers, create that social environment in your job, to uh, hold your direct family very close to you. Could be that you've got a home project and it's just going really well. Could be any of those things, and you focus more on the things that you're believing are going very well for you to elaborate or make those things even more sophisticated than they already are, or improve them even more, taking a break from the things that are taking your time and energy and not giving you any return at all. So that's talking about life. Let's talk about people. People in your life are like that, and sometimes you have a choice whether you interact with these people or not. When you don't have a choice, it's always a question of looking for value, because you are not allowed to exclude those people from your life. Therefore, you need to find what's good in them. Otherwise, you need to spend 4 days of the week venting about how terrible these people are, and that's not good for your attitude or your mindset. So it's better to be able to find and focus on those good things about those people that you don't necessarily like. Okay, of course, when possible, cutting people from your life that are having an incredibly destructive impact on your life. Of course, that goes without saying, like my, let's say, disclaimer at the beginning of the video, my advice about distinguishing between those things that can still bring value and those things that are only bringing you unnecessary costs. The next thing that I'd like to talk to you about is your own performance. So the skills that you have when we're talking about, the job interview skills, the hard skills, the soft skills, the things you do well, the things you do terribly and you want to do well. There comes many times in one's life when you need to do an inventory of your skills and where you are very, very, very proficient and where you're completely lacking. And again, in this video, I want to hammer it home that take this day or take this week or even this whole month to focus on those things that you think are really well honed within you in terms of your personal skills, your repertoire of hard skills and soft skills. How can you make them even better? How can you take a break from making unnecessary demands on yourself about improving the things that you either don't have any skill or ability in, or you find very, very difficult to improve? This could be a time to focus completely on those things that come either naturally or over the years because of other passions and directions that you've taken in your life, that those skills or abilities are well honed and that you put value, bring more value. So you increase the strength of those skills and abilities even more. And look at the things you do well at work. Look specifically at the things you're doing in your job today. What kind of things are you doing that you could do even better? What kind of things are you doing now that you could do even better and improve your reputation or bring in some other kind of value or recognition? It's really, really, really good to take a moment to think about that. Looking at opportunities. So a lot of people have huge problems with decision making. We could say that this is one of the arguments against will, the will. This concept of do we really have free will or not? Am I going to go with a decision that typically extends me, or if someone was watching the movie of my life could easily predict that is the path that I would take, and therefore is that free will or just an extension of all of my experiences that I've had until this moment? So my interpretation of that is, don't necessarily go with what is comfortable. Don't necessarily go with what is obvious. Look for opportunities that reflect hidden value for you, not just in terms of how much you can gain, but that reflect something closer to what you believe. They may not be as easy to do. They may be outside of your comfort zone, thereby challenging yourself, doing something unpredictable, but something still connected to who you are. It's like something that you could potentially believe in. Instead of just picking up an opportunity because it's lucrative or because it gets you to rub shoulders with the right person, look at opportunities similar to those where you get some kind of social or financial gain out of the opportunity, but that connect with something that you believe in, so it's authentic. It's not some kind of attempt just to win something like a simple game. No, it's more complex than that. It's about trying to find yourself in the outside world, which is a fickle task because the outside world always encourages us to compete with other people and measure ourselves by other people. And if I could ask you, as you go through this video, and if you choose to go through all of the points that I've mentioned carefully, make sure you do so without comparing yourself to a friend, to a brother, a sister, to a work colleague. Try to block that out. Those people are people that we need to learn from, but we don't just learn from their successes, we learn from their failures as well. We see what they're not doing, perhaps, just as much as what they're doing. And we don't or shouldn't compare them to who we are and our progress through life, because you'll find there's many stories or many anecdotes about two separate people in different fields who either grew up together or have some kind of relationship, long-term relationship, and one day they come together and share their deepest, darkest secrets, and you find that both figures, even being at the top of their game, had envy of each other, one to the other, because the other had skills or abilities in different areas that one didn't have, and thereby causing this sense of lack, this sense of longing to be something more, to be something bigger than they are. Whereas your source, or the source of your skills and abilities, the sources of who you are inside you, are the only thing that you need to focus on. And that every time you look outside too much and get out the ruler or get out the tape measure to see how big the other people are in comparison to you, you actually betray that part of you that's still growing, and that doesn't need to be analyzed or evaluated now. That just needs to be grown and given the freedom to grow in a world without measurements, but in a world focused on performance. That's all I have for you today. Values, look for value, look for the positive things, look for the things you can act on, look for the things that make you feel strong and give you a better sense of yourself. See you on the next video.